Unbelievable.
Unified.
So as we roll in here, I want to talk a little bit more. Last week, and X will be calling in shortly here, but last week we touched on some false flags, the sinking of the Maine, the Lusitania, the Gulf of Tonkin. Who do you trust in government? Do you trust the media to tell you the truth, Mike? I mean, who do you trust to tell you the truth? Is it Glenn Beck? Fox,
it's Sanity
MSNBC,
Check.
Sanity Check. That's right. Stephanopoulos. I mean, who does anybody? And if you're listening, folks, I hope you're listening to this section with some open ideas and once again start thinking out of the box. Have you ever heard of Operation Mockingbird? How about HARP? We're talking, there's plenty of people out there, Michael, that thinks 9/11's an inside job. You have chemtrails. Have you ever heard of lawfare before? The Gulen movement. I mean, who owns the Federal Reserve? And then, one of my real sore points is who ran for Auditor General in our own backyard? According to the Times Tribune and Boris, there was only 2 people that ran. So who are we trusting? I mean, what is this all about? I mean, and once again, we start looking at the media and who owns what, and I'm going to get into that here. It's unreal. I mean, we've talked about 90% of the media is owned by 6 corporations. Last year it was confirmed that the United States military has been manipulating social media by using fake identities. And John, you brought this up. I mean, called sock puppets. Yes. And under the CENTCOM contract, it allows up to 10 fake online personas known as sock puppets for the purpose to control free speech, according to an article. According to CENTCOM, their only objective is to courier extremists and enemy propaganda outside of the United States, saying that it would be unlawful to address United States audiences. Well, folks, lo and behold, 2013 version of the NDAA. Remember, folks, we talk about NDAA, included an amendment that the new law allows the United States government to legally carry out misinformation campaigns against U.S. citizens. So why do you need to legalize the use of propaganda when you already have an entire mainstream media printing government press releases without question? We just talked about this Operation Mockingbird, because as I started doing a little bit more research on who owns the media and everything else, it was a secret campaign to spread disinformation. This was back in the 50s, and false stories to foreign governments during the Cold War. Most people will probably jump on this. Oh, okay. The CIA did this by manipulating the media into focusing on propaganda, sabotage, and subversion. All good stuff, right, folks? Okay, they're protecting us, okay? But it was later revealed in congressional hearings, which consisted of literally paying off editors and reporters and most mainstream news outlets, the New York Times, the CBS, the Washington Post, Newsweek, AP, Reuters, and countless others, to spread these stories. Isn't it nice to know that our supposed watchdogs of government can be so easily bought? And then we're going to get back to this question. How do we know Operation Mockingbird is still not in effect? So,
you bring up great points. And at the end of the day, taking away free speech, taking away the free press, really takes away our free thinking. And that is what America's been so great for. The ability to think outside the box. But we've been so limited, even in our educational system. And really, Lou, you're talking about Mockingbird, you're talking about the press and how things are, but we're really our kids are being ruined right at the grade school level. And of course I spun off there a bit. But it's this whole manipulation by the government to be able to influence our thinking. And that's disturbing to me.
It is, and I just don't want to be just out there saying 6 media giants now control a staggering 90% of what we watch. I mean, because people say, well, what's that? Is that the truth? Is it not the truth? 1983, 90% of our media was owned by 50 companies. So who are these 6 companies? I think it's important to understand that, and how much they control of what we're hearing, and what, folks, how things are being reported. I keep picking on the Times Tribune a little bit, but at the end of the day, if you're only getting half the story, I mean, this is right in our own backyard, and I could go on and on with this. I mean, this is not, this is not something new or something unique, but GE is one of them. They own Comcast, NBC, Universal, and Focus Features. Then you got News Corp. That owns Fox, Wall Street Journal, and the New York Post. That's number 2. Disney is the next one. ABC, ESPN, Pixar, Miramax, Marvel Studios. Maybe 1 or 2 of these might have changed somewhere away, but folks, I think you're getting the idea. Viacom, MTV, Nick Jr., BET, CMT, and Paramount Pictures. Time, Warner, CNN, HBO, Time, and Warner Brothers. And then CBS owns Showtime, the Smithsonian Channel, NFL.com, Jeopardy, and 60 Minutes. And as I was going through this, Mike, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. I mean, this is everything. This is not just news. It's not like you're turning on Fox News and you listen to O'Reilly. I mean, you're going to the movies. And it's controlled what you're watching. Everything, BET, your music that you're hearing, everything that is going on. I mean, the revenue in 2010 was $275 billion, more than Finland's GDP. It's enough to buy every NFL team 12 times over. The Big Six control 70% of our cable. So, folks, we have to start waking up a little bit. Where are you getting your news? We've been saying this, Mike. Right from the start. It was one of the reasons we love this show, because we could talk about some things that perhaps is not, in the mainstream media. Betsy Summers nailed it. Absolutely. She was on some of the talk shows this week about lag towing, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, she was one of the hosts that asked her, well, how come all of a sudden about lag towing? It's in the news. It's out there. What's all of a sudden? And you know what she said? She says, the Independent Gazette has been talking about this, and they go door to door and hand it door to door to people, and all of a sudden these stories are getting down to the ground level, and yes, we're not the Times leader, a citizen voice, and nobody's trying to proclaim we are, not yet anyway. But at the end of the day, we're forcing them to start reporting on this.